Hi, grade 3. Today we are going to read a story, me and Uncle Romie. I hope you are excited even though we are not in the class and we have to read the story from home. But still, some of you love reading, right? So let's go and read the story. Me and Uncle Romie. This story is historical fiction. You know very well that every time we explain you what kind of story we read. Historical fiction, it's a story that takes place in the particular time in the past. It's a story that does not happen now in the present time. It's a story that happens in some time in the past. The characters and setting are mostly real, but they are made up by the author. So, one more time. Historical fiction, it's a story that takes place in the particular time that happened in the past, in the history, in the past, long time ago, and the characters and setting are mostly real but made up by the author of the story. Now, from what point of view is this story, me and Uncle Romie, told? The story is told by a boy. His name is James. And he is using words like I, me, my. That means that story is told from the first person point of view by the little boy. Like when he's telling his own story, we call it also a personal narrative. Let's go. Fingers in the book. Let's get ready. It was the summer Mama had the twins that I first met my Uncle Romie. The doctor had told Mama she had to stay off her feet till the babies got born. Daddy thought it was a good time for me to visit Uncle Romie and his wife Aunt Nanette up north in New York City. But I wasn't so sure. Mama had told me that Uncle Romie was some kind of artist and he didn't have any kids. I'd seen his picture too. He looked scary. A bald-headed, fierce-eyed giant. No, I wasn't sure about this visit at all. Stop here. So, in the summertime, Mama was expecting twins, baby twins. And the doctor told her that she should stay off her feet and she should rest at home on the bed. So Daddy decided that it was a good time for this boy James to go to New York City and spend the summer with his Uncle Romie and Aunt Nanette. Do you understand? But the boy was not happy. James was not so happy about that because he saw the picture of his uncle, and that picture was a little bit scary. He saw a bald-headed man. Bald-headed means he had no hair. A bald-headed man, and his eyes were fierce, scary, and he looked like a giant, like a big man. So he was not really sure about going visiting his uncle. Question: what is James nervous about in the beginning of the story? He is nervous about having to go to New York City to stay with his uncle and his aunt because he had never met them. And New York City is much different than his home. Next page. The day before I left home was a regular North Carolina summer day. A good train watching day, my friend BJ said. We waited quietly in the grass beside the tracks. BJ heard it first. It's coming, he said. Then I heard it too, a low rumbling building to a roar. Hoo! The Piedmont, we shouted as the train blasted past. I'm the great train watcher ever, BJ boasted. Yeah, I answered, but tomorrow I'll be riding a train. I'm the lucky one. Lucky? I thought as we headed home. Maybe. Okay, so this is James and his friend BJ. You see, that is the abbreviation, a short for his capital name, the capital letters of his first name. What did the boys like to do on a nice sunny day in North Carolina? What is the answer? They like to watch the trains. Like that one called the Piedmont, very famous kind of train. Why is James worried about staying with Uncle Romie? He is not happy about going to New York. Why? Because he had never met them. Not his Uncle Romie, not his Aunt Nanette. So how does James feel at the beginning of the story? He doesn't feel excited. He feels nervous and worried. So he's going to New York by train. That evening, I packed my suitcase. Voices drifted up from the porch below. Romie's got that big art show coming up, Mama said quietly. I hope he's not too busy for James, especially on his birthday. Romie is a good man, Daddy replied. And Nanette will be there too. The light faded. Mama called me into her bedroom. Where's my goodnight kiss? She said. I curled up next to her. I'll miss the way you make my birthday special, Mama. Your lemon cake and the baseball game. Well, Mama sighed. It won't be those things, but Uncle Romie and Aunt Nanette are family, and they love you too. It'll still be a good birthday, honey. Mama pulled me close. Her voice sank soft and low. Later, in my own bed, I listened as crickets began their song and continued into the night. The next morning, I hugged Mama goodbye, and Daddy and I headed for the train. He got me seated, then stood waving at me from the outside. I held tight to the jar of pepper jelly Mama had given me for Uncle Romie. All aboard! The conductor's voice crackled over the loudspeaker. The train pulled away. Chugga 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 chugga. I watched my town move past my window. Bright colored houses, chickens strutting across the yards, flowers everywhere. Do we understand the story so far, girls and boys? So James is getting on the train. Where is he going? Where? I cannot hear you. He's going to New York City, from the place where he lives, which is called North Carolina. He's going from the countryside to a big city. Do you remember why is he going to New York City? What is the reason? Because his mama needs to take a rest during the summer. She's going to have baby twins. So he's going to spend the summer with his Aunt Nanette and Uncle Romie. Does he feel excited about it? Not at all. He feels worried about it because he doesn't know his Uncle Romie at all, and he looks really scary. And he's worried about his birthday a lot because he will not have his lemon cake, and he will not have a baseball game like he usually does have on his birthday at home. Okay, we will continue with the next PowerPoint, so please open up the next PowerPoint.